Welcome back, everyone, to segment 3. So for today's final segment, we are going to focus on a little bit more review from units 9 and 10. And I'm going to give you a few clues what to expect on the quiz and how to study. So for this quiz, I have pieced together some parts from each unit quiz into one test. So I have already designed the test. And so after you finish this segment, of course, your only homework is to study a little bit. And so before we begin day 2, I would like for you to check your email and make sure that you have printed out the test. So perhaps at the beginning of segment 1, as I mentioned to you before, I will read for you the listening segment of our quiz. And you can repeat as many times as you need to at home. Even though when we take the quiz in class, we usually do 2 or 3 times only to keep a little bit of a listening challenge. So let me quickly talk about what to expect for the quiz, what will be on the quiz, and perhaps this will guide you as you prepare to study, okay? So can you see the board? I hope so. All right, let me move this way a little bit. On the test for day 2, segment 1, we will have a very short listening section from Unit 10. So in Unit 10, we have been talking about free time and sort of like travel destinations, and many of you have already submitted your essay, your paragraph, about a future dream location that you would like to visit. So on the test, good news, no writing, because each week we are doing a little bit of writing practice, and hopefully you have already submitted your writing assignment for Unit 10. However, a small listening relating to the same topic from Unit 10. We will have a small section relating to if clauses or future real conditionals, if you remember the grammar term. We will have a little section using before and after clauses, and a very small section to differentiate or distinguish between past continuous or simple past. So one exercise, you have to choose which one is more appropriate in the sentence. Okay, and finally, there's a small grammar section relating to phrasal verbs. So you may remember that we talked about there are separable and inseparable phrasal verbs. For example, let's see, call up. If I call a friend, this phrasal verb, call up, I can separate it with a pronoun, an object pronoun, or a person. So call him up, call her up, call them up. These are object pronouns, right? Let's see, I need to call up my mom. This could also stay connected with an object. So in the exercise on the test, you have to distinguish, the exercise is relating to phrasal verbs that are separable. So it's very similar, my clue. the test exercise is very similar to the book exercises that we did relating to that. Okay, so we have a few small grammar sections, and we also have a small reading. Actually, I didn't put that here, so let me quickly add that. I'll add this below. Now, because we have been focusing on Unit 10 recently, I chose the Unit 10 reading for the quiz. So this is a different but similar topic. So you can guess it's about another tourist destination. So that's the all of the things that you can expect for the quiz, Unit 9 and 10 quiz. So before we begin Day 2, Segment 1, which will be our quiz, you need to first check your email. Second, print the test. I hope you have a printer. If you don't, perhaps someone can help you, or you could go somewhere to print it. I would give this to you digitally, but you're not able to type your answers on the quiz, to my knowledge. So we will try this way first, and if it is too difficult or too much trouble, we will try a different way in the future. Okay, after you print it, you will take it. But let me be clear that before you take it, wait for the first segment on Day 2, because I will read the listening section. I'm going to read the audio script, and you can repeat it as I mentioned. So you will finish the test after that listening part, and then, I guess to make it a little easier for you, when you finish the test, take a picture of each page on your phone and send your test to me through email. You can just use an attachment, make an attachment. So I will print out your test for me to grade, and then I can likewise send it back to you through email, so you can know your score, know your results. Okay, so good luck. And if you have any questions relating to how we're going to take the test, please let me know. But you don't have to worry, but your only homework is study. Just study a little bit. Okay, now I am looking at the test. I'm sorry I won't show it to you, but I'm looking at this test, and I'm going to just go through it a little bit, little by little, and give you some clues about how to study. So let's start with, let's see. How about very quickly, let me grab my book. At the end of segment 2, we quickly reminded ourselves about vocabulary from Unit 9. So how about right now, let's look at vocab from Unit 10. Now, there is not a specific vocabulary section on the test. However, in the reading section, in the listening section, you might hear or see words that we have learned. So at this moment, I'm looking at page 123 in our student's book, 123. Okay, so relating to travel, we had book a flight. This is specifically about flying. We have camping, days off. Okay, this is a noun phrase. It's not a phrasal verb. Discounts, okay, cheaper cost. Exhausted, Tired, this is an adjective and can also be used as a verb. Figure out is a phrasal verb. So think about, make a decision, figure out. And then reserve, in this case, is the verb. Reservation is a noun. So reserve and book a flight, these are a little bit similar use. And then round trip tickets we talked about. And if we talk about round trip, we should also mention one-way ticket. One-way ticket. When I moved to China and I flew, I booked my flight. I only bought a one-way ticket. All right. Next word is tax. So this can be a verb or a noun. And finally, tourist, meaning a person who travels. And what's the noun? Tourism. Okay, in this chapter, we talked a lot also about tourist destinations, tourist attractions. These are collocations, two words that usually go together. Okay, so that was from the listening part. And then for the reading, we talked about some more words. Admission, attraction, cells relating to prison cells, Alcatraz. We talked about escape, specifically relating to Alcatraz, meaning get out, sneak out of prison. Ferries, meaning the transportation boat. And in advance, beforehand. Prison, we know. And finally, sell out. Sell out, another phrasal verb. Okay? So these are some words that you might encounter during the quiz for units 9 and 10. Okay. Now, what else? For the grammar part, especially the past continuous, there is one specific exercise only using past continuous. And let's see, another exercise, you have to choose between simple past or past continuous. So in this part, you will see or notice, let's see, I didn't put it here, but when clauses, when and while. So let me add this also. I'll put it here. All right. So for example, what do we use if we start with when? When the phone rang, comma, let's say I was, and what do I put next? Simple past or past continuous. I was cooking dinner. So which action happened first? Cooking dinner. And then what happened next? The phone rang, right? So think about when to use the clauses while and when. Let's see. How about this? While they, and we can think about talk. While they were talking to us, their young children interrupted many times. For example, so after a while, I use the continuous. So showing that during this time, okay? And then after that, the main clause, I used the simple past. Okay, and then let's think about the phrasal verbs that can be separated. If you remember in the book, there were a couple exercises where we had different sentences. The first sentence was with the phrasal verb connected. And then the second part had the phrasal verb separated. And then we had to put the object or the object pronoun. So let's think about one. Let's see. He's filling out an application. He's filling out. I'm using simple present continuous. Fill out. Okay, so what if I put the object in the middle of the phrasal verb? He's blank the application blank. So what do? He's filling the application out. So in this example, there's no pronoun. We're putting the object in the middle to separate the phrasal verb. So on the test, there is a similar exercise like this one from the book. All right. So for the grammar on the quiz, that's pretty much it. So let me see if there's anything else that we can talk about. So let me direct you to page 124, and we'll do a quick review for if conditional clauses. 124. So looking at the short direction at the top, use an if clause to talk about a future possibility. Use the simple present in the if clause. Okay, that's important. Use the future tense in the main clause to talk about what could happen. Okay, pardon me. So the example, one example we saw, if the fare is cheap enough, we will fly. So if clause, remember, simple present. If the fare is cheap enough, and then we talked about comma in the middle. If I start with if I don't start with if, put no comma in the middle. Okay, after the comma, we will fly. The main clause has future tense. Okay, so this is talking about the if clauses. All right, so let me give you a challenge perhaps as you study. This is your only homework before day 2. As you study, you might want to call up your conversation partner, maybe do some study together, talk about any grammar points, and don't forget the steps. Be sure to check your email and get ready to print out the test, and then we will go from there. Okay, so good luck to everyone, and I look forward to seeing you again for day 2 for our quiz.